Chevrolet is a symbol of the American auto industry, which has won many hearts with its name alone. But not all cars are like that. Some are forgotten in history or have simply disappeared without leaving a great legacy. Today, we will show you some old, but incredibly powerful, but now extinct cars from Chevrolet. Each of these cars, although a real winner of its time, for one reason or another, has faded from the pages of history. Dear viewers, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your support. Number 5, 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS LS6 Muscle Car Royalty. What made it special? LS6454 cubic inch V8 engine. At the heart of the 1970 Chevelle SS was the monstrous 454 cubic inch 7.4-liter LS6 engine, officially rated at 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. Conservatively, many believe the real output was even higher. Brutal performance. In stock form, it could do a quarter mile in the low 13s, even high 12s with good tires. Stunning for a street-legal car at the time. It was faster than many Corvettes of the same era. Street cred. Known as the king of the streets, the Chevelle SS LS6 earned its reputation in street races and drag strips. Its sheer power and aggressive stance made it a favorite among muscle car enthusiasts and a feared opponent. Design. The 1970 model year featured a refreshed body with a wide, aggressive grille, dual headlights, cowl induction hood, functional in LS6 models, and racing stripes, a perfect blend of brawn and beauty. Why it disappeared. The 1973 oil crisis. Gasoline prices skyrocketed, and long lines at pumps forced drivers to think less about power and more about fuel economy. A car getting approximately 10 miles per gallon wasn't viable for daily use anymore. Emissions regulations. In the early 70s, new EPA emissions standards kicked in. High-compression engines like the LS6 couldn't meet these regulations without losing significant power, so manufacturers began detuning or discontinuing performance models. Insurance premiums. Young drivers, the main audience for muscle cars, suddenly found themselves facing sky-high insurance costs for anything labeled high performance. Corporate strategy shift. By the mid-70s, GM and other automakers were shifting toward luxury, economy, and practicality. The muscle car was seen as outdated and politically incorrect in a more safety and fuel-conscious era. Chevelle discontinued. 1977. The Chevelle name was phased out after 1977. Its successor, the Malibu, shifted toward mid-size comfort rather than muscle. Number 4, 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. What made it special? Ultra-rare unicorn status. Just 69 units were factory-built, making it one of the rarest muscle cars ever produced. Powered by the legendary ZL1427 cubic inch 7.0-liter all-aluminum big block V8, originally developed for Can-Am racing, not the street. All-aluminum engine block shaved off serious weight, giving it an edge in both speed and handling over traditional iron block big blocks. Estimated output was over 500 horsepower, despite a conservative factory rating of 430 horsepower. This thing moved. Built through Chevrolet's COPO program, bypassing corporate restrictions on big engines in smaller cars. Why it disappeared? Not meant for the masses, it was a race car in disguise, built for drag racers and hardcore enthusiasts, expensive to build and buy. The ZL1 engine alone added nearly $4,200 to the price, almost as much as the base car itself. Most buyers walked away, and dealers had trouble moving the cars off the lot. The early 1970s emissions regulations and insurance hikes spelled the end for extreme high-performance factory builds like this. GM pivoted to more cost-effective and emissions-friendly Camaros, leaving the ZL1 behind. Today, the '69 ZL1 Camaro is a holy grail of muscle car collecting, highly prized, incredibly rare, and often fetching over $1 million at auction. It represents the peak of factory performance excess before regulations reined everything in. Chevrolet revived the ZL1 nameplate in the modern era for high-performance Camaros, but nothing matches the raw, untamed legacy of the original. Number 3, 1990 to 1995. Chevrolet Corvette ZR1C4. Nicknamed the King of the Hill, it was GM's bold leap into supercar territory. Powered by the LT 55.7 LV8, a Lotus-designed Mercury Marine, built 32-valve DOHC beast, delivering 375 horsepower, later 405 horsepower, and redlining at a glorious 7,200 RPM. Top speed, over 180 miles per hour. This was the early 90s, when most sports cars tapped out well below that. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds. Quarter mile in the high 12s. Featured adjustable ride control, wider rear bodywork, and special badging. Subtle but purposeful. A true exotic killer, often embarrassing Ferraris and Porsches on the track and in magazine tests. High cost. At over $60,000 US, it was nearly double the price of a base Corvette. And not all buyers felt the difference was worth it. Too complex for mechanics. The LT5 engine, while brilliant, was complicated to service, and parts weren't shared with the regular Vet lineup. Shifting market. As performance became more accessible and technology costs fell, GM decided to build a simpler, lighter C5 Corvette, which debuted in 1997. Sales dropped, and the ZR1 quietly bowed out. After the 1995 model year, the ZR1 proved that Chevrolet could build a world-class supercar and helped erase the stigma that American performance meant only straight-line speed. It's now a collector's gem, particularly the 1995 model, the last and rarest year. Number 2, 1986 to 1987. Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS Aerocoupe. What made it special? Created specifically to dominate NASCAR, the Aerocoupe featured a distinctive sloped rear window and fastback roofline. Engineered for better aerodynamics at high speeds, it was one of the few street-legal cars built purely to meet racing homologation rules. Powered by a 5.0-liter HO58 with a 4-barrel carb, delivering 180 horsepower and a muscular exhaust note. Only 6,252 Aerocoupes were built in 1986 to 87, making it a rare collectible today. It looked like a muscle car, drove like a cruiser, and had the heart of a stock car, a unique blend of form and function. Why it disappeared? NASCAR rules changed, allowing more flexibility in car design, so the rear glass trick was no longer necessary. Market trends shifted in the late 80s. Buyers wanted smaller, more efficient cars or moved toward trucks and SUVs. The Monte Carlo SS line was discontinued in 1988, and although the nameplate returned in the 2000s, it never recaptured the performance heritage. The Aerocoupe's specialized shape, while functional on the track, didn't appeal broadly to street buyers. Today, the Aerocoupe is a cult classic, especially among NASCAR and G-body fans. It's remembered as a purpose-built muscle machine, the kind of homologation car we rarely see anymore. Its rarity and racing heritage have driven collector interest, with clean examples becoming increasingly valuable. Want a blurb for the Buick Grand National next? That'd fit perfectly in this era of limited-run, high-performance American legends. Number 1, 1994 to 1996. Chevrolet Impala SS. What made it special? A full-size 4-door sedan with Corvette DNA, thanks to the LT1 5.7-liter V8, pushing out 260 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. Stealth mode engaged. It looked like your uncle's Caprice Classic until you hit the gas. Featured beefed-up suspension, a limited slip differential, and sport-tuned components borrowed from police package cars, the 9C1, only came in dark, sinister colors, especially the iconic black cherry, making it look both subtle and menacing. Gained a cult following for being a big-bodied sleeper that could outpace many sports cars of its time. Why it disappeared? GM shut down the Arlington, Texas plant in 1996 to make room for the rising demand in SUVs, like the Tahoe and Suburban. The mid-90s saw a sharp decline in interest for performance sedans, with buyers flocking to trucks and crossovers instead. Profit margins were better on SUVs, and the bean counters won that battle. The Impala name returned in 2000, but as a front-wheel drive sedan, losing the power and personality of the SS.